Kristin Fisher joins us now. She is the founder and executive producer at Endless Void Studios, which covers all things space. Kristin, also a very experienced coverer of space travel at two cable networks, one of which I used to work. Well, both. I used to work for both of them. That's not important. Kristin, great to have you with us. You've described this not just as a scientific event, not just an event about exploration, but it is a cultural event, not just in America, but worldwide. Talk to me about that.
You know, we spend so much time talking about how this is a huge moment for NASA in the United States. And yes, it is. Of course, we are in the middle of a second space race. This time, instead of Russia or the Soviet Union, it is with China. But that misses the bigger point in the sense that this is truly a moment for all humanity, for all Earthlings. And as you stand here today, you really get that sense when you're walking around the streets of Cocoa Beach or spending any significant period of time along the Space Coast, there is just pure joy about humanity finally returning to deep space, returning at least into close proximity to the moon. And, you know, you look back at what the Apollo program did and how those Apollo, Mercury, Gemini astronauts, they were household names. There was so much swagger around the space industry around that period of time. And so what I think the Artemis program, one of its great legacies, is going to be bringing some of that swagger back, injecting the children of the world and the nation, injecting them with some of the excitement that we haven't seen since the Apollo era. Major?
And what has been your experience with that actual excitement in and around Cocoa Beach and around Space City?
Well, right now I am standing in a place called the Space Bar on top of the Courtyard Titusville, which is literally the last stop before the Kennedy Space Center. And it is pouring rain right now, but it is absolutely packed up here. There is traffic for miles and miles, Major, and they don't care about if they're getting wet. They don't care how long they've had to wait in traffic. Everybody is just so excited to see this moment that so many of us have waited our whole lives for. I mean, we have not seen humans fly to deep space in over half a century. I mean, just think about that.
President Trump talked about this on social media today. He's got a lot of things on his plate. How do you imagine, or can you tell us, how he will be monitoring this evening's events?
Well, I know there was a lot of hope within NASA, perhaps, that he would come down and be here in person to witness this launch. I believe, on background, I was told that he is going to be monitoring this from the White House today. But, you know, this has been President Trump's baby, essentially. The entire Artemis program, it was founded and started during his first presidential administration. And one of the most remarkable things about the transition from the first Trump administration to the Biden administration was that Artemis and President Trump's space policy was one of the few things that the Biden administration saved and carried over. And so now here we are in President Trump's second term, and we're about to witness, hopefully, the launch of Artemis II. You know, NASA and the entire space industry, one of the worst things that it has to deal with is presidential transitions and changes of power, changes of mission, changes of goals and destinations. And for Artemis to survive the transfer from one president to another and then back to the first is really a testament to the bipartisan nature of it, the international cooperation, and the fact that despite all the times that programs have been canceled in the past, this one, it looks like, is finally here to stay. Major?
Kristin Fisher, I appreciate your time very, very much. Thank you.